Sometimes we have a relationship between two variables expressed not with an equation, but with an inequality. So, for example, we might have the inequality 4x minus 2y is less than 4. How would we go about graphing this? We graph an inequality in 3 steps. The first step is to graph the line. The first step is to graph as if it were an equation. The second step is to decide how to draw the line. And the third step is to shade part of the graph. Okay, and I'm going to explain 2 and 3 a little bit more when we get there. So our first step then, what's this inequality? In our minds, our first step is to graph 4x minus 2y equals 4. So, well, this looks like we're going to have nice intercepts, right? Let's let x equals 0. We'll get 0 minus 2y equals 4. Divide both sides by negative 2. Y equals negative 2. So that'll give us the point 0, comma, negative 2. X is 0. Y is negative 2. There we go. Let y equal 0. Then 4x minus 0 equals 4. Divide both sides by 4 and we get x equals 1. So that'll give us the point x is 1, y is 0. X is 1, y is 0. Okay, so I'm not going to draw in the line yet, but the line will go along here, right? Connecting these 2 points. Now I need to decide how to draw it. My goal here is to have a picture that shows all of the points that make this inequality true. Do points right on the line make this inequality true? Remember, at points right on the line, 4x minus 2y equals 4. If 4x minus 2y is equal to 4, well then it's not less than 4, right? So points right on the line are not going to make this inequality true. We want the line to not be included in our picture. The way that we indicate that is with a dashed line. Right, a dashed line is like it's not really there. If you're working in pencil, you can draw in the line and then dash it later if you need to. If you're working in pen like I am right now, it's better to decide whether to dash or not before you draw the line. And now we're going to shade part of the graph. Now I want you to ignore the axes for a moment and just look at this dashed line. This dashed line cuts the plane into 2 parts. There's this part above the dashed line and this part below the dashed line. We need to decide which part to shade. And there are a number of ways we can do that. And I'm going to do that just by picking a particular line to think about. And I'm going to think about when y is 0, right? So that'll be along the x-axis. When y is 0, I want to know when 4x will be less than 4. Right, I'm thinking again, when will 4x be less than 4? Divide both sides by 4. This will happen when x is less than 1. So the part of the graph that we want to shade is the part that has the part of the x-axis where x is smaller than 1. Is that this top half or this bottom half? Right, it's this top half. So we're going to shade this top half of the graph. If we cut along this dashed line, the shaded part is all of the stuff over on this side. So let's talk a little bit more about 2 and 3. Deciding how to draw the line. If we have either one of the strict inequalities, just less than or just greater than, use a dashed line. Right, a dashed line is not really there. So if it's less than or equal, or greater than or equal, we'll use a solid line. Right, a solid line is really there. How about 3? How do we decide which part of the graph to shade? Well, again, there are a lot of ways to do this. But the way that I like is to just think about basically the axes. That will tell you which half of the graph to shade. I'm going to give you one of these to try. Graph the inequality y is greater than or equal to -4/3 x minus 3. Pause the video and try this now. Okay, so first we're thinking of graphing this equality, right? We're thinking about what we would do if we were graphing y equals -4/3 x minus 3. This is given in slope-intercept form. So we're going to just go with using the y-intercept, -3, and then the slope, -4/3. So that means when I go 1, 2, 3 to the right, I want to go 4 down, but that's going to take me below the bottom of my page, right? But I can think -4/3. I can think that's -4/3, or I can think that's 4 over -3. So instead of going right 3 and down 4, I can go left 1, 2, 3, and up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, there are my 2 points. Now I need to decide how to draw the line. Here I see greater than or equal. So points on this line should be included. Because equals is included, we want a solid line. Now I need to decide where to shade. Right, now, I could pick x as 0 or y as 0. That is, I could choose to look at the y-axis or the x-axis. I'm going to choose to look at the y-axis because that'll make things easy. So again, I'm thinking, what happens when x is 0? Then I just get y is greater than or equal to -3. Right. So here's -3 on the y-axis. Here's the part of the y-axis where y is greater than or equal to -3. I want to shade the part of the graph that includes this. There we go. And that's all there is to it.